back, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. It's Friday, guys, TGIF, and I know that doesn't mean as much to me. I stream every day, it seems like. Well, I do stream every day, as a matter of fact. And so, if it's something that you're wanting to check in on, be sure to like the button or click the like button, click the subscribe button. Join me down below. I do a daily stream live every single day. Again, my name is ATX Crypto. We primarily focus on the Richard Heart ecosystem of Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex. And of course, today we're going to be discussing those exact items. So I hope everyone again is having a fantastic day. It's been an absolute banger of a week. We've had ups, we've had downs. We got some PPI news coming from the Fed. We have some good news coming from the overall information in the crypto markets, and just finding out more and more information every single day that goes by, guys. This is a time to be learning. I've said this before in the past. It's the bear market. The bear market could be almost over. We might be back to being in the bull market, but we never exactly know when it is. So as long as you continue to learn, you're going to be able to earn in the next cycle. And that's something that we're going to be discussing a little bit further today as well. So if you enjoy this information, enjoy the streams, enjoy all the content that we got putting out, come on and do me a favor and yourself a favor and click that like and subscribe button. My goal is to be at 600 subscribers by the end of the month of January. Currently sitting around 575. So thank you so much to everyone who's shown love. It means the world. It means a lot. So definitely continue seeing that come as well. But again, guys, I hope everyone's having a great day. It is Friday, and so we got some absolute banger of some information happening today as well. There's been some updates with Pulsechain if y'all haven't seen or haven't heard, in regards to Richard Hart doing his tweets and everything that he brings to the ecosystem and community. He has let us know that the Pulsechain is still in the testnet private phase at this moment in time, but it is coming along just fine. In fact, there's 4 clients happening on the Pulsechain: the Gold Pulse, Prism Pulse, Aragon Pulse, and Lighthouse Pulse. So he took a screenshot of it. We'll definitely share that information as well. Oh, the suitcase is up. You know, D will run in. I'm going to eat something. Let me. Suitcases up. My apology, guys. I got the wife coming home. Want to make sure the pups are all good and everything as well. I do have to step away for a brief second right here, so just give me one quick moment while I run over and knock that out as well. So give me just 1 second here. All right, apologize about that, everybody. Again, I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. It is Friday, folks. So let's get started. So this was the latest tweet from Richard Hart discussing Pulsechain testnet v3 coming along just fine. The 4 Pulse clients that we just discussed: Gold Pulse, Go Pulse, Prism Pulse, Aragon Pulse, and Lighthouse Pulse. And here's a screenshot of that testnet beacon explorer. We did go through, and you can see on down here there is a nice little window where you can see beacon cha.in. So we went through and saw what that looked like yesterday as well. But if y'all missed the stream yesterday, I will quickly show you as well what it looks like. This is for Ethereum at this point in time, and of course it will be switching over to Pulse once Pulse launches. But you can see it's got all the information over here. Let me switch it up to where it's on this screen. And again, you can see all the information down here. It shows validators, it shows the epochs, it shows the blocks, it shows all that information over here. And of course, there's way more stuff. If you start diving down, you can see stuff like blockchain, transactions, you can see mempools, you can see validators, slashings, and all that stuff. And I'm sure all this is going to end up coming over as well into Pulsechain. And so this is what they're working on. This is what they got going on. And it's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. Definitely excited to see. Um, and definitely excited to see what's going to be happening here as well. So this is just a quick little rundown of that area. If y'all missed it, again, this is what it looks like. And again, this came from Richard Hart's tweet over here where he mentions this is what it looks like for the beacon. And again, it's a really interesting thing. So we have Pulsechain running all that stuff, and this is what the page will look like up top. It just looks absolutely incredible, y'all. We have Pulsex, Pulsechain, Pulse Ramp, and the sacrifice checker. That sacrifice checker eventually, I'm sure, won't even be there as an option. But as long as the Pulsechain is not launched, people are still sacrificing, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I cannot believe people are still sacrificing for Pulsechain and Pulsex. But to each their own. They're going to do their thing. I don't advise going that route. But again, I'm not a financial advisor and I ain't your daddy. So if you're going to do that, then you enjoy having fun with the results and don't get mad because you didn't pay attention and read the fine print. So this was a quick news update over here. So this is Nexo. Nexo was another platform that was trying to give people yield. And I find this to be absolutely hilarious because, guys, all these folks are looking for something that will pay them yield, and Hex does exactly that in a trustless, decentralized fashion. But they continue to get wrecked trying to go into these protocols to earn a measly like fucking 8% interest APY. It is absolutely mind-blowing that people are willing to put their money into a centralized platform where they can easily control or shut off or again, you do not own the crypto. So if they decide to do whatever they want, as we've seen in recent events, especially in 2022, then this is what is, I find, just absolutely mind-blowing. People are looking for these items to pay this trustless yield, and this is exactly what Hex does. But they just won't give Hex the time of day, whether it be their arrogance, whether it be their ignorance, or maybe they just don't know. But Nexo was another company who was actually trying to have a lending platform protocol, just like we've seen with Luna and Celsius. Nexo settles with the SEC and will pay $45 million, or will pay a $45 million fine and kill the crypto lending product. Now, again, guys, this is happening time and time again, right? Adding to Nexo's headache, the SEC charged the crypto lending firm Thursday with selling unregistered securities, saying the company failed to register with the SEC before offering its plainly named crypto lending product, Earn Interest. Like, in settling with the SEC, Nexo has agreed to cease offering the interest program and pay a $22.5 million penalty, plus another $22.5 million to settle with state regulators. We're not concerned with the labels put on offerings, but on their economic realities. So these folks are basically promising or saying that they're going to pay you back this yield in dollar form. And it's not, that's a failed system. It's not going to work. You aren't going to be succeeding in it. So you have the SEC's filing saying the earned interest product offerings and sale did not qualify for an exemption from SEC registration, meaning they were supposed to do it and they failed to do so. So essentially, again, this is coming from Gary Gensler, who is the SEC chairman, and just an absolutely hilarious thing that you end up seeing time and time again. All these folks are trying to earn this interest on a platform just like Celsius and FTX. Like, it's everything at the end, and these folks just continue to give their coins away. So people, definitely stop doing that, right? Like, what are you doing? Stop trying to pick up pennies in front of a freight train. If they decide to shut off the funds, if they decide to go bankrupt, if they decide to do anything, you do not have any countermeasures against it. Even though it's a centralized platform and you think it's doing and you're being safer by going with that route, we've learned time and time again, for example, Celsius, they have now claimed that all the money that you gave to Celsius was in fact given to Celsius. It's not yours. So all these folks aren't even able to get money back. And that's absolutely wild. They're the bottom of the creditors. So when Celsius ends up paying back all the people who actually paid all the money for it and use their system and platform to try to earn measly yield are the people who are going to be essentially getting the nothing burger over there. So Nexo agreed to the settlement and admits a no admit, no deny basis. So again, guys, stop trying to pick up pennies in front of freight trains. It's as simple as that. Here's another one, little quick news. Robinhood rolled out its own MetaMask wallet competitor to 1 million users. So again, this is another company who is in the game of, kind of revolutionize the game, if you will, in my opinion, for how people invest. It allowed a lot more. It allowed a lot easier ability for people to start buying stocks without having to have the wherewithal and have someone else go and a broker to actually go and do it for them. So it definitely launched a wallet as well to allow users to swap and transfer tokens, view owned NFTs and crypto. It's currently being slowly rolled out to 1 million users and 10,000 waitlisted customers. That uses Polygon and Ethereum sidechain to offer swaps without network fees. And if you're confused on why, then again, Robinhood initially referred to a new transfer feature on its original trading app as crypto wallet product. This wasn't really a wallet. It's no different than how users are able to transfer crypto from Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, and any other crypto trading app. The Robinhood wallet that is being rolled out today, however, is actually more like MetaMask in the sense that, or Coinbase wallet, not to be confused with Coinbase. So it actually will have seed words. You will have maintained possession of your coins and your crypto. But guys, if this is a brand new thing that's coming out right now, don't be a guinea pig for it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm bringing it up just because news is news. But don't be a guinea pig in this scenario, right? Don't be the first one to try to get this new wallet. It's as simple as that. There's plenty of other stuff that's tried and true in the world of crypto. MetaMask for sure has been tried and true in this example. You can look up to hardware wallets like Treasure and Ledger. If you're gonna have to be responsible for your own seed words anyways, then you want to learn how to properly do it and not take advice from Robinhood, for example, whose primary goal is to obviously keep all your money as well. All right, they want you to trade, they want you to do all this stuff, and that's just how you get wrecked. It's much more of a wallet, and instead, so let me see, it's actually going to compete with MetaMask, another Ethereum wallet product. We built this product to solve the challenges many users had. Competing products include a unitive or unintuitive design with high fees. And again, he's saying all this to try to get people to start buying in. What do you say? For now, we're focused on rolling it out to iOS users only. That's pretty interesting. Not gonna lie, they would go with the iOS first, because it actually costs money to create apps on the iOS platform. It costs a lot more money than it does just creating an app on an Android, for example. So that's pretty interesting that they would go that route. Here's another great website that we have in the Hex community that I just recently found as well. Hexinfo.win. If y'all have not seen this website yet, I highly advise you take a little bit of time to go check it out yourself. But hexinfo.win is the #1 resource for Hex Pulsechain and Pulsex. It has a quick little trading view chart on here. If you can go back and see 1 year, 5 year, all. I haven't messed with this so much on it because, again, I don't really care so much to use this small window. Maybe it can get bigger and everything. If you click it, it'll open up a different window. But it does have Hex daily stats right up here in the top left corner. It's always going to be pretty interesting once we actually start seeing once we start seeing Pulsechain come out, because not only will we get the Hex daily stats for Ethereum, but we'll also end up getting the Hex daily stats for Pulsechain as well. It gives you a lot of the same information that we already get from the website hexdailystats.com, but it gives you the Hex price, the T-share price, the T-share rate, that payout per T-share, how much is staked, and how much is circulating. So that gives you a quick little rundown of everything happening there. That payout per T-share still above 6, and on average, we've been running a pretty good number on that too. They've been averaging roughly about 6.3 for the last 6 months, which we'll check out and look into as well. Let me see here. Thank you. We'll come in and relax for a bit. Out the head. Cool. Perfect. Perfect. Why won't you? There you go. Perfect. All right. So this website shows a lot of really cool websites, guys. Like, these are all interesting stuff that I think everyone should be well aware of, or should be informed about. So of course there's the natural hex.com. Then you end up getting pulsechain.com, pulsex.com, and then we start getting into Pulsex leads. So if you wanted to see the sacrifice amounts and everything there, this is where you would check it out for Pulsex, for example. You can go to hexdailystats.com. They have apphex.win, which has charts. You can go into whalesonly.com, which also has his own charts. If you haven't checked out Whales Only, I highly advise you check out his channel and his information. He is very knowledgeable when it comes to a lot of this stuff down below. So it is something that you can actually venture through and see, because this will actually have a whole chart, which again does a really good breakdown in terms of how much is staked, BTC versus Hex, for example, the T-share rate. He has really good charts that he's ended up making, and he continues to improve every single day, just like we continue to improve every single day as well. So he actually had all these charts. He has a little script that he runs in the background that he can update if needed. Really interesting information over here. But again, back to the hexinfo.win website, you can go to uniswap.hex.vision. This is how you can actually see Uniswap v1, which is the very first ability to see Hex price in the very beginning. So a lot of the times when you're looking at some charts, it may not go back to Hex's first beginning prices, because it wasn't listed on anything in the very beginning, and then Uniswap became the main thing that Richard Hart made popular. Hex.vision, another great website if you're wanting to see some additional items like penalties, gas prices, staking. They have really cool information on this website. If you haven't checked it out, I highly advise it. Look into hex.com. I will say, Gerardo, I wish he would update this a little bit more. Maybe I haven't checked it out in some time, but I checked it out, I believe, last month at the end of the year, and it seemed like a lot of the information had almost kind of gone outdated. Some of the charts weren't working. I don't know if he's more focused on Mintra now, and that's just the focus that he's going with. But stakehex.today, another website that we use commonly here if you're ever wanting to test out the estimates of future income generated by Hex, you can definitely use this website. Hexstreamers.com, it'll list all the streamers going on if you're wanting to see and get all the information. Maybe you don't know who's streaming, maybe you don't have their information. Hexnoob.com, again, another great website for a noob in the Hex ecosystem. It gives all the sources of everything you could possibly need to know, prices, swaps. It gives you good tutorials on how to get stuff done. Hexinfo.io is another website you can use to actually build a staking ladder and check out some stuff, import your MetaMask. Hexmob.win is a T-share app alternative. So T-share app was created by Maddie Allin and another gentleman, I forget the name at the time, but they created the T-share app as another backup essentially for Hex, and then a backup hex.com. So really great websites here, right? Sack to Pulse, and this is if you were trying to figure out how much if you sacrifice, how much Pulse you may end up receiving. It was all unofficial. It was all speculation. So it was just more of a try to check it out. And if you want to build your own ladder right here, hexladder.web.app is another great website. You can type in all the information. It'll give you a really easy breakdown into how to set a ladder up correctly. You can choose how many number of stakes, and then you can follow this up by using staker.app, which again is not on here. But Staker app was actually going to allow you to do multiple transactions all at once. You have Hex Toys, another website you can use to buy some collectibles. You know, if they're still doing NFTs, I'm not quite sure, but they actually had little collectibles and stuff. And then hexgraphs.com. So, guys, definitely check this website out. Lots of really interesting stuff on here. And I know I shared just kind of briefly running through each one about what each one did, but yeah, definitely a pretty interesting stuff on this one. So next we're going to get into the price of Hex and seeing what that has been doing, right? So if I come over here to Trading View, we can see if I come back, this is Bitcoin right here. And of course, just as you can see, Bitcoin's been doing some good things. It's been rallying above, sitting at 21,341. You had the quick little sell-off because the Fed had talked about coming out with some international news that they were going to be releasing. It ended up being that they were just going to be shutting down this Bitslazo exchange, which is a very small exchange. And so, you know, neither here nor there on it. So all is good on it. But yeah, Bitcoin looking like it's doing some really good things, folks. Back in that little green candle, bullish momentum. Is this the end of the bear market type deal, type scenario? Because we know that with most altcoins, they do follow Bitcoin. Because if you look at Ethereum, just for example, it'll look like dang near the exact same chart, which is absolutely crazy and absolutely hilarious. If I come over here to USDC, or Ethereum, I mean, you can see it's doing that same thing. It's got the little chart going all the way up. Hi, Delta. Hi baby. So we have oh, it's okay, Journey. So we have Ethereum doing its thing as well. I have it crossing down. It actually broke out of this little wedge that we had drawn, and you can see we had this drawn back here back in November. So I actually drew this up, and I've been just kind of watching it hold this little trend line for quite some time. It's finally broke above the trend line, so now is a matter of time of is this the time where we start seeing everything start turning back into a bullish momentum, right? And with Hex, guys, one thing with it is we know it is correlated with Pulsechain, announcement of Pulsechain, news of Pulsechain. So it doesn't necessarily look the same as those other charts, if you will, but just based on what it has been doing, we're seeing a little bit of a red candle today. This is as of the weekly chart right here. Let me go to the daily. Journey, come here, lay down. Come here, lay down. Journey. Lay down, pup. It's okay. Lay down. All right. Sorry about that, guys. What's up, Crypto Gains Club? Appreciate you coming through, leaving that chat, coming through as always, enjoying the streams. Yeah, we're checking out just some interesting stuff, and we're gonna be diving into a little bit of wallets in a second as well, seeing what they got going on. But just in regards to what Hex has got going on, let's just open this up and make it bigger for everybody. So on the daily, this is what Hex has been looking like. We are still sitting here. Am I zoomed in? Let me see. I am zoomed in on this page. Can I zoom out? Zoom out. Cool. Cool. All right, so this is what Hex has been doing right here, right? We got a lot of information happening with everything going on with Hex, and that's coming with, we had the Hex conference happening roughly around this time. This was January 6th through 9th was the Hex conference. We got to see a nice little bullish momentum happening because people were thinking that Richard Hart would announce the testnet launch of V3 possibly as a chance. And of course, come January 9th, this was that Buy the Rumor right here, sell the news. So before January 9th, people had started to sell off a little bit again. Come January 9th, he came on, did the stream, and he did not announce the V3 test net, and that's when you see the price start to tank again. And that's when we actually fell back below the 2 cent threshold for a period of time. We actually fell below the 2 cent threshold for about another day or two, because after 2 days after January 11th, he announced that Pulsechain testnet V3 is running on private. That's when we got to see this little nice rally on the way up again. And so as we started seeing that rally, we've crossed the 9 EMA into the 15 EMA and crossed those two lines. Typically, when they cross, it is a good indicator that we will see some bullish action following that as well. So that was kind of what happened, exactly what happened actually. So it crossed, it had nice little bullish action, and it went back up, almost cusping to 3 cents. We are following this little trend line pretty steadily, right? And I didn't quite bounce off it. This is a very light trend line to see, but I think 3 cents is going to be really the level of resistance that we need to be focusing on as a, not necessarily community, but just where we need to keep our eyes on, because 3 cent has now become a resistance level for us. So until we really break the 3 cent level, it's hard to really get bullish about Hex again, just because we don't have any news or announcements either coming from Pulsechain, and we know they're very heavily correlated with each other. So looking between everything happening on all these items, it seems like people are starting to get a little bit bearish again, just because we had the picture of testnet V3 happening on private. Richard Hart had his little tweet and his everything happening, and then we just had some sellers come through and really just start dumping the price. If you do have some limit orders, this is a great time to start setting some limit orders. We actually came right back down to about the 1.95, 1.93 level. Yeah, 1.93 level right here. And we bounced back off from there, from all these limit orders getting filled. I know myself, I had some limit orders in this range. I have some limit orders in this range. And I think if it goes back down below the 1.9 threshold, then we're probably going to end up seeing 1.4 this time around, because we don't have a lot of support in these ranges. So I have limit orders down here in these prices. Personally, I think these are great prices to be scooping up if you actually have some limit orders. Instead of trying to do a market buy and then watching the red candle follow after your market buy and feeling sad, it's much better to do a limit order, so when it gets filled, you're happy, you're glad, and then you can set yourself multiple limit orders. We talked about this before on 1inch.io, matcha.xyz, or CalSwap. Any of those are great items. You can use Dex Guru as well. I did see they only allowed 3 days was the longest I could adjust the limit order for, and I think that put it more into a trading mindset, and I wasn't necessarily a fan of the trading mindset mentality. So I do advise going, if you are not in the US, to check out 1inch.io. If you are in the US, I recommend checking out CalSwap, and that's app.cal, it's swap.cal.fi if you want to see. This is the website here again. To everyone who is To everyone who's new, it's CalSwap is the, oh, I'm blocking it, that's why. Cool, I'll just put myself right there for a second. So this is CalSwap right here, and again, it's app.cal or swap.cal.fi, and you can actually go in here, click a limit order. You can choose wrapped Ethereum, USDC, USDT. You can choose, of course, their main token, which is Cal, but I have USDC for myself. It's probably one of the easier things to do, and you can set the expiry date essentially all the way up to 6 months. So I do recommend going this route, especially if you are here in the US, because then you can click on Hex. You can come on down over here. Whoops. And again, I just refreshed the page, so that's all good. But yeah, you can definitely choose this information. Once it's on Hex, then you can actually choose the price that you want to put those limit orders in. So right now, the current price is sitting around 2.3 cents. and you can actually set some prices around 1.9, 1.1, 1.4, 1 point, whatever it is that you feel like adjusting it for, and just choosing the amount. So say you want to go, if you have, for example, if you have 10,000, I recommend doing at least 3 limit orders, separating it between a current price that you have, and it could be, 33.33 at the 1.9 level or 2.1 level if you just want to scoop up some more right away and not miss out if the price just starts running away. Because guys, when we get pulse chain news and when V3 testnet is launched, people are going to start pouring back into Hex. I just anticipate it. I think it's going to happen. There's a lot of dry powder sitting on the sides waiting for news of pulse chain. So we got 1.9, 1.7, and that's, I would start doing those little 2 cent increments, and I would go down another 33 at 1.7. I would do another 2 cent decrease again, 33. So this is where you could scoop up some additional Hex for some great prices. Once you have that Hex, you can choose to stake it if you want to start earning some more trustless yield without any middleman. It is an absolute incredible system for the whole stake mechanism. No, Denise, to answer the question, CalSwap does not ask for KYC. So that is all you need to know. Yeah, it's very simple. You connect your MetaMask right here, and guys, if you are, let me start by saying this: if you are testing out a website for the very first time and you aren't comfortable with it, set up a fake MetaMask or a dummy MetaMask, if you will, that you can use to connect to different apps and protocols and everything like that. And just kind of see how the whole system works. If you have your stakes and everything already set up with Hex, I don't recommend connecting that wallet with any other system, right? It's just not advised. I think the best thing you can do is to have a separate wallet that you can buy your Hex in, transfer that Hex into the Hex with, or the wallet with the staked Hex, right? And then you can choose to stake it longer, do whatever. But I don't recommend using the wallet that you have your stakes in, especially if you have stakes that are going out to 15 years or 55. There's no need to throw in an extra risk in this game if it's not needed. So just create a separate dummy account, send the funds to this dummy account if you will, or if you want to, and then once it's filled, once the limit orders are filled, then you send that Hex. Yes, you will pay a little bit more in gas fees, but to not lose or have everything jeopardized, it is well worth it, folks. Well worth it, okay? But yes, this is a great information here. Thank you, Crypto Dave. Yeah, you're absolutely correct on this. CalSwap doesn't ask for KYC. You gotta love CalSwap. Yeah. And I appreciate it just because, like, one thing with 1inch that made it so enjoyable was you can set a limit order out for years, folks, like 3 years, right? Which was incredible. So if you just wanted to put in a limit order right now, set it and forget it below a penny, for example, and you just set it and forget it, you can do that with 1inch. But the downside to it is they don't allow people in the US to use it, and they also say don't use the VPN. The way you can get around that is by using a VPN, but again, do I want to take that risk of them, shutting account, banning it? I don't know what they would do, right? I don't have any control in that scenario. So I'm going to play it safe on where I can recommend and what I can do. CalSwap allows me to go out to 6 months just by going down here to custom. So again, if you aren't familiar with it, then yeah, you can actually just go down to custom yourself. Makes it so much easier for just everyone. You can come on down here, choose the day, an hour, 3 days, 7 days, a month, and again, also go out to custom. So you definitely got to love CalSwap. Denise, you are so welcome. Of course, you're welcome, Denise. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, folks, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So Crypto Dave throws in another information. Also, you pay fees with crypto that you are buying instead of ETH. That's correct. And since we're talking about that, if you are going to be doing limit orders, make sure that you are doing limit orders with anything other than Ethereum, right? You can do things like DAI, USDC, USDT, wrapped Ethereum, but you do not use Ethereum for limit orders. That's just a quick rule of thumb for everyone who may not know that little rule of thumb with limit orders. So If I come on over here to this tab, this is Deck Screener. This is another great website that we use, and it actually allows us to kind of check out some information. So I'm going to take off some of the filters that I previously had. And this actually allows us to see what's happening in the current setup right now. So today we actually have 223 buyers over 89 sellers. So the sellers are running out of the ability to start dumping prices, and eventually these sellers are just considered to be redistributing their wealth into hundreds of other people who aren't trying to sell at this time, because maybe you're new to Hex, maybe you're just getting in, maybe you're just trying to get what you can so you can stake and everything like that. But folks, this is definitely happening now. Out of the 89 sellers, they are still selling $1.6 million in sell volume. So even for these 89 folks, they are selling quite a bit of money in all reality, and they're getting out at these crazy low prices. Why would you get out at the bottom of a bear market? I have no idea. They had their own reasons. Maybe they lost faith in the product. Maybe they lost faith in the ecosystem. Maybe they lost faith in the community, or maybe they just need money to pay for their lifestyle that they put themselves in when it was a bull market and they were making money like it was crazy. I mean, back then you were just printing papers and printing paper and printing paper. It was amazing because you can basically choose anything and just make money on it. Well, now in a bear market, you got to start looking into what you're doing, looking into what you're buying, checking everything out. Oh yeah, Denise. Yeah, I tried using Norton VPN with 1inch and it didn't work. Yeah, so they say that, and again, like, that's interesting. Maybe they have a new filter and they're blocking it from Norton VPN. I use Norton as well, and I haven't had an issue. But again, I don't know if it matters where I connect to. Sometimes I'll just connect to random places like Iceland or Argentina or anything like that, and maybe you want to go into a more crypto centric place. Belgium is a good one. Germany is a good one, just because they are in Europe, they are definitely more open minded with crypto and the ability to transact with crypto and in crypto. So, I don't know if that makes any difference, but yeah, I use Norton as well. Phenomenal service. And, I recommend everyone should be using a VPN at any point in time, not only for your security, but also just to get some extra perks on this thing too, right? If you have it, so like, for example, Netflix, if you want to watch some shows that are banned in the US or wherever you're located, you can flip on Norton VPN, flip it to that little thing, and it'll let you watch some shows. Really interesting stuff. And there's a whole lot of other benefits that come along with being on a VPN too, like the Infura MetaMask thing most recently. They were tracking IP addresses and all that good stuff. And when using a VPN, instead of having to switch over your RPC and all that good stuff, when you start saying some shit out loud, it just sounds absolutely crazy. So let's just say that, right? But it is what it is. It is what it is. We're going to go back over here to the daily on this little chart. I had it on the monthly because, again, I really don't go less than a day on these charts, which is why it was showing green, because we are green for the month. But as of the daily chart, we are red on it. But again, this is that little 9 EMA with the 15 EMA, the white line versus yellow line or green line, whatever color it is. Nice little easy way of seeing it. Now, guys, I just recently found this other website called Rugsy.io, and Denise, I sent you the wrong information yesterday. It's not just Rugsy.io, it's actually app.rugsy.io, and I'm gonna put that back in the chat for everyone again as well. That way y'all have it. But again, it's app.rugsy.io. And check this website out. So let's just go back to the main page. If y'all are ever curious into any other crypto of what's going on, like maybe you aren't just in Hex, for example, maybe you do have some of these other coins and you want to know what's going on, for example, you can simply click on any one of these items here, and not only that, it'll actually give you a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of information. I'm going to choose HT as an example. I don't even know what HT is. I think it's helium, but I think that's HNT. So I don't even know what HT is. But this will actually give you a whole bunch of lists of everything happening, whether it's all the transactions going on, whether people are new. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look up Hex, because guys, that's right, we're here, what we're focused on primarily. You can do these other items with like stuff like Hedron, for example. Do they have Hedron? Yeah, they do. Of course they do. I'm tripping. So you can do this. Yeah, it's not supported. Okay, cool. So they have it listed there, but it's not supported. So they don't have all of them just yet. This is a new beta website. And again, guys, if you are checking out a new website in the very beginning, I highly advise that you make yourself a dummy MetaMask account. Why? So that way you can just connect to these different dApps and these different apps and decentralized applications, and you can play and adjust and figure it out. So that way there's no risk of your money ever being taken or ever connecting to something that you give it full access to. So let's just look up Hex, because I know they have Hex on here. I've seen it already as well. So you can go down here and click on Hex and look at this information. So one, it gives you a whole bunch of wallets, it gives you a whole bunch of stuff, but then it says extra information available after authentication. So in the top right corner, you'll see authenticate, and it'll ask you, do you want to connect through MetaMask? So in this case, I do want to connect to MetaMask. It opens up a separate thing. Y'all can't see it right now because I don't have it set to share the whole screen. But a message that pops up saying you are signing and let me actually just make it so that way y'all can see it. Give me one sec, because I think this could be good for y'all to see. Oh, what's going on, Academaciated? Appreciate you coming through. Howdy, y'all. What is up? What's up? What's up? And folks, there is a meetup here in Georgetown, Texas, happening tomorrow, January 21st. If you are in the Georgetown, Texas area, it is highly recommended that you come through and say hi. I myself will be there, not the whole time. I don't know exactly when I'll be there, because of course we got our own stuff to be happening in our own lives as well. But they're gonna have a lot of folks in there, right? Eco Builder, Wild SJ, and there's gonna be a ton of other folks that are also going to be there. Highly advised, if you are in the area of Georgetown, Texas, you come through, you say hi, you participate, you meet other people who are Hexicans in this space and in the community. So I'm going to share the window, and we're going to go back to this window, the entire screen, just for now. And yes. Cool. So this is the chat that pops, or the window that pops up. You know what? Let me actually do something different. One second. My apology, y'all. I want to make it just so that way it's just super simple and easy to see. And there was an option that I could choose that would actually pull up the whole window, and it makes it just so much easier for everyone to see. So here we go. This is the website this is the window that pops up when you actually open up the little signature thing and you say authenticate in rugsy.io. So again, it's saying that you have app.rugsy.io, you are signing, and it's saying the app.rugsy.io wants you to sign with your Ethereum account, and it says the Ethereum account address. Welcome to Rugsy, click sign. This request will not trigger a blockchain transaction or cost any gas fees. And you can see it's not doing anything besides simply signing a nonce, which is basically allowing you to verify that the wallet that you own, or that this wallet right here that you're connecting to, is a wallet that you own, but you are not giving it authorization to spend any funds, to do anything like that. So if you are connecting to decentralized applications, highly advise that you go through here, you check it out, you read at least what you're allowing, and then you can click sign. So now when we come back over here and come back into Rugsy, for example, it'll give me all these informations. It'll let me know the last DEX was traded within the last 30 days. Less than $1 worth of token is in this wallet right here. So if I was to click it, it'll let me know everything there. The first DEX trade was 30 days ago, so they're brand new in this little ecosystem of the world of crypto. Open. There we go. There we go. That makes it so much easier to see for y'all. So my apology, but there you go. Makes it so much easier. So it gives you, of course, the wallet address here. You can favorite some wallets if you want to start tracking some people, seeing what they're doing. Maybe I'll make all this so that way it tracks all, say the god whales, and not the god whale, the whales, the sharks, and maybe I'll go through here and just input all of their addresses, and then I can just go through here and I'm guessing filter by favorites. I'm hoping, yep, favorite wallets, which is really cool. It doesn't have top holders currently allowed at this time, but that will be a feature in the future. So top holders, you'll see, again, you can see new, you can see all this stuff, right? I'm not worried about excluding anything at this time. In fact, yeah, it doesn't let me do it. Coming less than 30 days. So guys, this is really cool, right? Because this is all coming soon. This is a brand new website that has just been put onto my radar. But not only do I like it for that reason, but check out what it does. And it makes everything all nice and colorful. And who doesn't like seeing colors on all this stuff, right? Of course, I definitely do. But I can sort this out for a 1 month chart. And again, I can get rid of bubbles if I don't like these little bubbles and I just want to see kind of the transactions that are happening. Um, the one thing I wasn't able to do is find a log chart. So if you go into Max, for example, it just looks like the price went up and then the price fell back down. I wasn't able to find the logarithmic chart to start on this one, but it shows a whole bunch of information on this, folks. A ton of information on this website. And this is where I really started getting very interested in what this website can do, what it can provide, what we can start looking into. So of course we can see tokens that were received, tokens that were sent, tokens that were bought on DEX and even sold on a DEX. And of course tokens deposited to a DEX pool, becoming liquidity providers basically. So right now let's just see some tokens bought on a DEX and let's just look at that. So people are definitely buying. Can I zoom in by any chance? No. So people are definitely buying, and this is a wallet with $500,000 that just bought on January 19th of 2023. So we can of course open up their wallet by clicking this little icon right here and going in to see what their wallet looks like. Now, this is saying that they did just swap $11,000 and got 500,000 hex. And of course we can dive in and say this was the wallet that transacted it with. This was the transaction hash, and I think I'm going to go through and kind of explain some more information on a separate video so that way y'all can kind of understand if y'all do want to start diving into what these mean and how it works. But they when you're on Uniswap, sometimes it'll just do the transactions for you automatically, so it'll take the USDC. Sometimes it has some wrapped Ethereum, sometimes it just switches all that up and it makes it very simple. But this was the main wallet that it was sent from. So 22A, it'll open up the Hex token contract because that's how this is how it has it filtered right now. It says filtered by token holder. So if I wanted to, whoops, go zoom in here. I don't, oh, there, really, that's all the zoom you got? Okay. That made like no difference. Oh goodness. Okay, so we can actually see that they actually have a balance currently right now at 2.9 million hex sitting in their wallet. But we can of course click on this wallet right here and actually dive into what their wallet looks like even further, so we aren't just relying on that one page. So they are sitting on $110,000 in their wallet, or 2.9 million hex with 42,000 USDC. So they are sitting on quite a bit of money just sitting on the sideline. They've just recently converted some of that USDC back into hex, and they've been doing this for a period of time. So if we go into their ERC20 transactions, you can see they've actually been slowly swapping USDC back into hex, guys. So they are scooping up some hex at these prices. This is something that they were probably waiting for. Zoom, sucker, jeez. This is something that they were waiting for, and we can of course see that right here because we see that they were swapping hex to USDC and hex, and so it actually will show you all this information. Now I'm zoomed in too much, right? I can't win. I can't win. Just let me win. Okay. Let me just zoom in just a smidge on this page then. Cool. So yeah, you can actually see on right down here, they've converted some US, there's some hex back in the day, about one day ago. This is probably someone who could be trading, it seems like, because they keep doing the swap back and forth, whether it be swapping from hex to USDC, from USDC back into hex, and then back, so they keep kind of doing the same swap over and over again. But they are starting to buy some hex, guys. This is definitely something that you can see. They sent the hex out over here, and they swapped it to USDC. They then swapped that USDC back into Hex, so they scooped up another million Hex. They scooped up, 16,000, or they swapped the Hex to USDC. So it looks like someone's trading, and that's okay. Just because based on all the transactions that they're doing, this is a lot of transactions to basically happen. This is, I think, 25 transactions, and this is all within the last 4 days. So this is definitely a busy bee in the ecosystem, and they are definitely trading quite a bit. But we can dive in even further into what these folks are doing too. So not only that, we can type in this address just like we have in the past, and we can copy that wallet in and go to a different website called hexfire.io. This is where we can dive in even further and start seeing if folks are buying Hex, if they are buying USDC, or I'm sorry, if they're staking Hex. So if I go over here to hexfire.io, click on this little omega symbol up in the top right corner, and then you can zoom the page by the bottom right corner. There's a little plus icon. Makes it pretty easy for everyone to use. Paste in that address and filter it out. So now we can see if they have any stakes with this exact wallet. And so at this moment in time, they do not have any stakes with this wallet, right? They have staked in the past. They've had 5 made in the entirety that they've been in the Hex ecosystem. And sometimes you got to dive in a little bit deeper, right? You have to actually go to another website to see what their stakes looked like originally. Maybe hexfire.io will eventually add that in, so that way it shows the ended stakes, or maybe I can filter it, address filter, blank owner. No, nothing I can filter there. So I would love to see it if they actually have it list the previous stakes on here too, so that way I don't mind going to an extra website. It's something that I'm already used to doing, but I think it does make it a lot easier for everyone as well. So what we can see through this wallet right here, and this is go.hex.com/stake, is they did complete the majority of their stakes initially. They had up to 100%. They really only went out a year, and they went out, 100 days here, 300 days here, and then another 300 days here. They didn't make it to the completion of this stake right here. They did waste it. At one point in time, they did have 436 T-shares. They are no longer staked, at least in this wallet, and so they are out in the game of Hex, but they have accumulated quite a bit of wealth during that time. And again, they had something that took them from an initial price point of about, oh, it doesn't give me the initial price when they first entered. Yeah, that's something I would definitely love to see. So you kind of have to mix and match a lot of these different websites to make it happen, unfortunately. That's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles at this time. But people are making these websites, and I'm using it without having to worry about doing anything. So you can only cry and complain so much. I am grateful to the folks who have made these websites to allow me to actually go through and actually check this information out, because this is where I learn right here. This is how I learn. So if I sort it by, we'll just say that address. Well, let me go back to Etherscan. Let's see something real fast. I want to see if they ever have any other wallet, okay? So something you can typically do is you always want to know what the address is that they started it out with, which in this case was 223A. If they are swapping Hex and starting it from somewhere else, typically you want to go to the last page, because it could be a wallet that they initially transferred into. So a lot of the times this is something coming from a mint address, which we've seen in the past. This is saying that they minted their Hex into existence, and then they sent their Hex and staked it again. They minted their Hex into existence, and then they staked their Hex again. So they were doing that initially in the beginning for quite a bit. And it seemed like they actually stopped staking their Hex, because here's a website where they sent 2.1 million Hex. And we know this because if we come on down here, we can see 331 days ago, or that's so cool, the date. Oh my God, even the time. That's crazy. February 22nd of 2022, roughly around 9:22 in the evening. God, that was so close to being 22, 22, 22. I don't even know if they purposely did that or not, or if it just happened to be that way, and that's just how life works sometimes. But if you come on down here, you can see that they sent this to a different wallet, and it got sent over here to this wallet right here, which is ending in 6631. They actually sent roughly about 2 million hex right away. This is like the first time they sent it to this transaction. I would recommend doing it the other way, because then soon after that they sent 15,000. If you're creating a new wallet, if you're sending it for the first time, it's advised that you send a small transaction initially. You want to test it out, make sure it works, make sure everything's all good. Same thing for limit orders, guys. Back to CalSwap, and I know I kind of bounce around here a lot, but if it's your first time ever setting a limit order, my best recommendation to learn it is to set a limit order for, we'll say, $100. And if you have 1,000, maybe you only do a limit order for like $50, okay? But you just want to set a small limit order, and you want to make it relatively close to where the price is, so you're not waiting for the price to get hit. So if it's at 2.3 cents right now, well, maybe you set a limit order at 2.30 cents, right? This is a test limit order. This is so you can start learning how limit orders work, how they get filled, what happens when they get filled. This is how I started in all the journey, right? I always do a small transaction initially, because I just want to know exactly what happens. So once you have the $50 in USDC in that wallet, and you connect it and you set your limit order, you do it for a very close. So right now the market price is 2.3278 cents. Maybe you do 2.3178. Maybe you do 2.3078. But the idea is that you're not trying to wait around forever for it to get filled, right? You aren't doing a low limit order for your very first one just to see what happens. You do that once you know how they get filled. You can still set the expiry date for however long you want, in this case up to 6 months with CalSwap, and it'll tell you how much hex you'll get. Once you set it right here, you just click it, you say you agreed to spend the USDC in your wallet to fill the limit order, and then once that limit order gets filled, it actually will list it down here. It'll say open orders and order history. So if you've already got it filled, you can click into the order history. It is super simple and very easy to use. But again, if you're new to a limit order, start small. If you're new to sending a wallet to a new wallet that you have never sent it to before, start small, and then you send this 2 million. So I shared all that just to kind of give that basic information for y'all, so hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. But this is another wallet that is doing a lot of transactions. Again, this is sitting on AirSwap deployer. So let me see if I can pull this up here, because I don't think this wallet is staked, if I'm not mistaken, just because of, you know, how I just basically looked at it for a second. I don't believe that they're gonna have any stakes in this wallet. Yeah, of course not. So maybe that's not the wallet that I want to be seeing right here, because again, this is more so of AirSwap deployer, where you can swap tokens to a different one. Maybe it's like a mixer or something like that, so you can kind of get stuff done. Because you can see when you start seeing 18 seconds, 18 seconds, 18 seconds, like no person's going that fast. Personally, it takes a while for transactions to click for you to approve. And so if you're seeing a lot of these 42 seconds, like no person's doing that. It's usually like a little mixer or something like that in that regard, or a swap or something. So that way y'all have an idea. So maybe that's not the one that we want to be seeing or look into. So let's continue through the investigation, see if they've sent it to another wallet previously. Because again, we're looking from 223A to send it to a different wallet over here. Now this is the same little one, 6631. We've already seen that's not it. They've received it from 6631. So yeah, this is definitely a swapper here. Again, I'm just curious if they God, they're doing lots of swaps, and they use AirSwap quite a bit, or at least they did back in the day. Here we go. Here's a new wallet that I haven't seen just moments ago. Oh, that's cool. I didn't, for some odd reason, I forgot that you can just see the little contract icon, and that makes it so much easier, so you don't even have to bother And again, I know that's a little bit hard to see, so let's zoom in. But that's the contract icon. So if you ever see that, that's essentially just letting you know that it's kind of like a contract. It's a null and void thing. You don't really have to worry about looking into. But here's a new one that we haven't seen before. So I'm curious if they are actually staked in this wallet right now. Yep, they haven't done a transaction in 214 days. So since June of 2022. We can again just briefly look to see if they are staked. They have received quite a bit of hex from 223A. It looks like they continue to receive hex into this wallet. And let's just take a quick gander into the actual address. So copy, paste, and I just want to see what they got going on. Yeah, so they haven't really done anything here. They just holding a bunch of hex, it seems like. Let's look in to see if they are staked with this wallet. I go down some rabbit holes, don't I? If you appreciate this content, be sure to click the like button, guys. This is definitely something I'm already doing myself. Whenever I'm just sitting in front of the computer, I start diving in, and that's kind of how the whole stream started in the first place. Is I was like, man, I'm already doing this, diving into what people are doing and what wallets are doing. I might as well just try to make it a little bit more enjoyable for other people, so they can also see it too. And that's exactly how it all started for me. So yeah, this wallet again doesn't really show anything too hopeful, so they aren't really doing anything. They're just holding a whole bunch of hex basically. And again, this is this 223A? Sure is. And back to 223A. So I'm just trying to see if they're staked, guys. That's what I'm very curious to see, like, to see someone who was staked in the past. And again, if you missed it, this is that same wallet. 223A is what we're looking at right now. They were staked in the past. The last time that they had a stake was February 21st of 2022, and they haven't staked since. I always find it hard to wrap my head around someone who was staked for a period of time. They earned the additional hex that the system has said that they would earn, and then they no longer stake. I have a very hard time wrapping my head around why someone could get to that point in time where they don't feel the need to stake. Right? They were around for big payday. And it's so confusing, right? This was November 18th of 2020 was big payday. That was the essentially 1 year after the hex inception was created, but big payday won't happen ever again. But yeah, it's so confusing and so interesting for me. I try to hit things from like a logical standpoint. You know, I really want to see, like, man, can I get it from a like Lex Friedman will say, can I steel man this? You know, like, can we steel man this and actually have a better understanding of what's going on and why it's happening, right? And so that's what I start doing. I start looking into this kind of information, because they were staked at one point in time and they're no longer staked. So that's just very interesting, right? Very interesting. Let me go back over here. Here's a another website that we're going to share, and this actually has to do with the Pulsechain. This is a little Pulsechain update, right? So if I type in on this subdomains.whoisxmlapi.com, you can see the a lot of updates are happening all the time. First seen, last updated January 4th, 2023. Let me see. There was something that I saw just recently on Pulsechain, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw it say January 18th or 19th. I could have sworn. Maybe I'm wrong. Was it Pulsex? Pulsex.com? Look up this information just because, again, there's tons of stuff out there. Yeah, January 4th, 2023. So interesting. I guess I must have just been hoping for something a little bit different, because I always try to see these little subdomain lookups, right? I'm trying to find stuff in the background to say, like, oh my gosh, here's a little snippet of what's happening and what could be happening, and it's always fun and interesting. And so, guys, we definitely have a bunch of information happening here within the Hex ecosystem. I'm definitely looking forward to what's going to be happening here in the future. If I pull up over here just on Twitter, let me scroll on out real quick. We got Jake Sharp doing his thing. Where's the Pulsex army? Too funny. The Hexagon code, how to buy. And again, I pretty much follow like all hexagons, so it'll be a lot of it. X-ray vision. People have been asking me for info about the team working on my project. Oh shit, that's funny. That's funny. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let me see. Yeah, I bet Pulsechain's launching next week. Like, if you start seeing this kind of stuff, folks, like, eh. I won't ever give like that estimate of time frame. I'm done guessing. I thought fucking Pulsechain was gonna be launched already. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not the person to be guessing about when Pulsechain is gonna be launching because clearly I have more hopium than a lot of people. But I've lost the hopium at least. I've realized that it's not necessarily where I want to end up in, where I want to be, and I kind of gets my T Hex plebs. What? Um, yeah, this is kind of where I end up wanting to be. When Pulsechain launches, find me and my dog living on our new Earth roamer, living our best life. Hey, that'll be freaking legit. Good luck. Where's the Pulsechain army at? And KDP is an awesome member of the community. Please don't call it army. We are a community and have nothing in common with federal armed guards. Please, if you don't like my tweet, just go make your own. Freedom of speech is hard to bear and oh my god, savage. Firing back these days? No more nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, that was legit. Damn, shots fired. Oh my goodness, love it. Some cryptos have their army and marines, but Hexicans are a space force and we are bound for Saturn. Nice, a little United Hexican Space Force, Department of the Hex Force. That's pretty cool. That was actually a pretty cool thing. Hey, coming through hot. Laughing in. Why aren't you sleeping? I'm at work already. Yeah, you got Rich Jar and his little ecosystem, guys. This is an absolute blast. I just wanted to go through quickly, look up some information, check out some news, check out some items overall, and see what's going on in the grand scheme of the Hex ecosystem as well that we are constantly in with everyone. It is a ever growing community that we have happening right now, and I'm just looking to contribute where I can, to do what I can, and share my thoughts and my information with everyone as well. But I appreciate everyone who has come in, tuned into the channel, tuned into the stream. Let me know down in the comments below if there's something else that you'd like to see. Hit me up in the replay gang. Let me know that you watched it as well. Hit me up on those comments saying replay gang, something like that. That way I have a little idea who's coming back and who's watching. But again, guys, all the love has been happening for 2023 so far. I wish everyone wealth and prosperity and good health in 2023. It is going to be a phenomenal year. January is almost over, so keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you keep your eye on the prize, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.